Hello and welcome back to the channel. Right, today I have for you the Leyi mouse, and as you would expect, as this is a Leyi model, I'm not particularly happy, hence the title of the video. But usual format, 60-second speed build, some pics, and then we'll get into the review. So let's crack on and build. Okay, Leyi mouse. Right. First of all, I would normally go through the instructions, but we'll come back to those in a second. The bricks are a little soft, which, while they do feel quite nice, does mean that they don't necessarily adhere to each other particularly well. And what you will find is that if you're putting in several bricks in a line, by the time you come to the last brick, the first brick has sort of worked its way out and you end up with that sort of gap between them, which is not the end of the world, but it is slightly annoying. There is nothing missing, no warpage and no discoloration, and that's almost as good as it gets, unfortunately, because we have the instructions. Now, it's not the first time that I've had from Leyi just a sheet of paper, and same as before, sometimes it can be a little bit confusing about where you go. You would expect to go along and then like this. Doesn't always work that way. There are some that go along down and then across and back up, as sort of thing. But the biggest problem with these things, and it is rage inducing, I'm afraid, it's where they show everything just particularly from one angle. Now, that's not uncommon with a lot of instructions. However, when you are putting, say, two sides of something together, so for instance with the side skirts, you're putting that together, but you're also putting bricks in on the other side. So particularly, get it without knocking it off the table, a brick like that, where it's going in to reinforce and hold the back side and make it a whole unit. It gives you really no real clue about where these should go. So you might have a, let's say, you got a 4x2 plate here, and this could go there, it could go there, it could go there, it could go there. And on some of the instructions, for instance, it may look as if you put it in there, but then 2 or 3 stages later, after you've put a whole load of other things together, you realise that actually it shouldn't be in the next one, it should be in the one below it, and it should only be one stud connection on it. And this is repeated all the way through from the very beginning of this model. So the amount of times that you will do 2, 3, 4 stages, then realise that they've not shown you quite where things should go, and you have to dismantle 2 or 3 of those sections to rearrange everything ever so slightly, then put it all back together, and then you move on the next 2 or 3 sections. Then you've got to go back to it. Really is go forward 4 stages, come back 3, go forward 4 stages, come back 3, and it's repeated all the way through. So if you suffer from high blood pressure, hypertension, PTSD, depression even, don't bother with this model, because it will just make you worse. It really is rage inducing, to the point where I came very close to not even bother finishing this, where it was going to get broken up very early on and just added to the spares. However, then I didn't want anyone buying it and saying, well, you had it, you didn't do it, you didn't warn us, thanks a bunch, just wasting my money. Yeah, so that's why I finished it. So first of all, you've got, and it is by far the worst build out of the 100 odd models or so that I've done so far, with easily the worst instructions. Now this is I think the 5th Leyi model that I've done. So I've done the SU-85, SU-185, whichever one it was, the Katyusha, the KV2, and the Ferdinand stroke elephant. Now the Katyusha was good. I can't lie on that one. It was an absolute banging model and highly recommended. The rest, the Ferdinand, the model at the end was okay, but it was not the easiest builds, and the other 2 were very meh. There's a lot better out there. This, well, the proportions are all out on this. If you look, all you've got to do is just Google a picture of a mouse. You will see that this turret is too big and too small at the same time. So what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, when you look at the images of the real thing, the actual turret covers about 60%, so 3/5 of the actual top of the tank itself. And this is the other way around. This is probably only 2/5. So this is nowhere near big enough. But yet, when you also look at the pictures, there is the turret is not as wide. There is a definite lip on both sides, so it needs to be narrower but considerably longer. And then you've also got the wheels. Basically between my fingers there are where the wheels touch the ground. Now that needs to be considerably longer. It almost comes down, it's sort of coming down and being flat across like most tanks would be. So let's take this unpronounceable one, where it's nice and flat and you've got plenty of traction onto the road itself. This, it's just, it comes down, it doesn't touch the ground until where my thumb is there, and starts coming off again there. So there's really not much of the track actually touching the ground at all. That needs to be considerably longer than it actually is. It just sort of almost floats and pivots. It's really not good at all. There are stickers on here which, to be fair to them, are okay. The one good thing I would say about this is the construction of the turret itself. What Leyi have done, which a lot of companies fail to do, when they've got these fairly steep diagonals on the sides and back and all that type of thing, a lot of companies will just put them on a hinge and pivot them across, and everything sort of goes in and tries to support each other, which makes it very weak. What Leyi have done, and which is something that Gunchan tend to do as well, is you've actually got solid turret with built up sides, and then the hinge goes in and it just leans up against everything else, so I can squeeze the top of that really hard and it doesn't come apart, which is great. But it's very little that I can say about this that is positive in any way, I'm afraid. Let's just pop this shank back. Now, you do get 2 minifigures with this, which I haven't done, partly because I was still rage-induced when I got around to these. Also, in common with other Leyi minifigures, they are dual-faced, so they have another face on the back of the head, which is fine if you've got a helmet or something like that that's going to cover that second face. Otherwise, it just looks weird. And the German helmet on this particular figure is not going to cover the full head, and on the other one is a sort of Russian cap, which no. So no, not at all. Now, this was £16.07, and I'll be honest with you, whilst it is probably the cheapest mouse out there that I've seen, don't bother. There are, funny enough, 12Go, who is the subsidiary company of Leyi, their premium brand. Their mouse looks a lot better. It is more expensive, but it does look considerably better. The Guangzhou one, again, looks considerably better than this. I've not done them yet. Hopefully that will come in time. But I would save your money and buy something far better than this. If nothing else, just think of your heart. This could be the cause of heart disease for you, or a heart attack or something. It's just not good at all because of these things, which are just diabolical. As I say, I've done, I don't know, 100 odd models or so now, and these are by far the worst instructions, which is saying something, of any of the models that I've done. So there we go. That is the Leyi mouse and my thoughts upon it, which is basically, don't buy it, don't do it to yourself, save your money, buy something better. And hopefully you've liked this video. If you have, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you again. You take care. Bye bye.